a great honor to be here. I have a few minutes to share my thoughts, not only as a medical regulator, but also as what all of you may like to do. So I have no conflict except the references and pictures and caricatures which I show are fantasies and they have resemblance to none. This is actually real. This is our faculty of the institute. They resemble in toto. And our residents who do most of the work, like in Tata, are the best from the country. The title given to me is Accessible Healthcare. I looked into definitions. I have never spoken on this topic before. And the definition says the guy must have an entry into healthcare system like insurance. I'm not the right guy to say. Access to sites of care, yes, he must be getting the drugs. But what I can possibly discuss is access to providers, doctors and nurses in the country. US, we have many experts, is growing in the health budget, and in 2020, despite Donald Trump, you may still have 20% of GDP on health care. India, it's very small. What US has done, I'm just giving you the fleeting shots on this, and it has been alluded. They have 3 new laws, and Sanjeev is here, he can allude on that. One is, you get a new drug, so this will come under probably FAST. You have a faster access to specialized treatment. India, we are fighting, it doesn't happen. You also have Prescription Drug User Free Act, and I think these are acts which are under Senate there, may get through. How do you measure accessible health? The Indian perspective. Resource, I think the country might go into national policies for insurance. Successful receipt, the healthcare indices must improve. Affordable, in India, 61% of out of pocket is healthcare expense. What I will discuss with you, and I want you, because I want to use this opportunity to sensitize you to our challenges, is that you have probably less doctors. You have only 1.3 beds per thousand. This is 2012 data. And although India has about 15 million beds for patients, 70% in private sectors, and we are not able to afford that. But if you look into the new data, the non-communicable disease, hypertension, diabetes, is about 50% or more in rural India, where you also don't have emergency and preventive care. So what do we do as a regulator? I have been for some time in regulation for medical education, and that is only what I can talk about. Do we need more doctors? What is the number? What is the quality? And most important, is medical profession an attractive option for our kids? So let's look at the quantity, and this was the vision document that we prepared. You might have had an opportunity, still on the website. So the question is quantity versus quality. I don't know you like the kiss. And this is the issue which we need to debate. So what is the basic doctor requirement in India? Basic means an MBBS. 120,000 is needed as of assessment, and we need to go on to this. So in 2010, we added many more seats. From about 21,000, it went to 36,000. And this year, we added, through the oversight committee where I have an opportunity to work, 8,700 seats, 422 medical colleges. By 2020, I expect 90,000 seats. What has happened is the market value of seats has come down. You agree? 2,000 seats went unfilled this year. 70 to 80 new colleges apply, 60% in private. We have been able to push the government that 58 new medical colleges will come in district hospitals, postgraduate. In 2010, and Dr. Sharma was a very strong proponent of helping us on that, was 9,000 seats in the PG. By the time in 1 year we added to about 19,000. They remained at about 23,000 for 5 years. Now 2,000 or more seats are added. So 2.5 UG will be 1 PG seats in India. But what our aim is, UG is equal to PG. Teachers, 65 made into 70. Hopefully 70 is still young for India. We can go ahead. You agree on that? Yes. Especially people like us will agree. The people at the back may not. The quality. So the endpoints were not clear about an Indian medical graduate and they were defined. This is an endpoint. You agree? This is quality. Nobody can doubt. Why can't we have doctors where nobody can doubt? Well, he should be a clinician par excellence, even in MBBS. He is a communicator, he is a learner. Also is ethical and is committed for lifelong excellence. Because the greatest and deepest worth of a doctor he is needed. You become a doctor and you are not needed by patients, you are needed by chemists, you are needed by maybe some other people. I think it's not worthy to become a doctor. So how do you do quality? Entrance, raw material if it is good from OEM. It is good. A guy is studying under a lamp post is maybe better than a guy studying in New Delhi in a coaching school. So national eligibility and entrance test, and thank God we got 6.5 lakh people for 63,000 seats, 1 in 10. Also NEET PG has started. It's not so good because I heard somebody in Mumbai was not so happy, but well, many of us have failures. I have many more failures, but I do dream, so one of them becomes true. For postgraduate, what we need, it's very clear in my mind and of my colleagues, we have specialists and super specialists who are competent for healthcare as well as education. It's just not going and doing healthcare. We need people who are teachers so that every Indian medical graduate can pursue post-graduation in India. You agree? He doesn't have to go out. He can study in India for post-graduation. The gap is too big. You have so many postgraduate aspirants and few seats. Maybe the ratio is 1 in 5, 1 in 10. It is becoming less. But you also want quality. So the proposal, which I hope will come in 2017, it is in the finalization process. Every professor can have 3 students as postgraduate students. So in one unit in a broad specialty, you can have 6, and in a super specialty 5. But the problem that we see is that private colleges only hire professors. So you have 7 professors in a medicine unit, but there is no associate or very few assistant. So you have more seats, but this is not the right way that teaching can go on. There are challenges, and we will overcome these challenges, but as of now, there is an opportunity that more students can be taught. So let's look at what quality in my thinking is. Good raw material and a good finished product at all levels. And that is our proposal for next national exit exam. So my vision is, it will take few years, but many of us, if we walk together, maybe we can make this happen. And assess the product. Whole system of assessing the process is not correct. How many windows and how many toilets and how many hostel seats is not probably the best way. The best way is how good is your product. And therefore I think assessing product is more important. But if you assess a product on of what? So we need to revise our curriculum, which is time efficient, competence based curriculum. And we worked on this. So the current curriculum is 5.5 years. 1 year internship, 4.5 years of this. What we proposed in 2010, core curriculum of 4 years. People didn't agree with me. half of elective and one of internship. Still it is 5.5, but elective you can do in US, you can do anywhere else, and still internship. My proposal is that we should have 12 months of internship, which is inclusive of elective. So your whole course is finished in 5 years, not in 5.5 years. You save 6 months. Do you agree in principle? Can we do it? Oh, it's a very, very poor response. You all want to study 5.5 years, why can't you crash it? You go to Florida, you can become an MD in 2 years, you do 7 days, correct me if I'm wrong. You do 7 day studies, that many courses, you still can finish it. Why can't we compress and synthesize our curriculum better that we can finish and save 6 months out of it? Think it over. I don't want you to go with me till you're convinced. Postgraduate is a long process, and everybody, let's say he joins neurology, he will only become neurologist. He joins cardiology or cardiothoracics, he will only become that. So can we have some kind of options in post-graduation, and we need to achieve. So this was a proposal after MBBS, everybody should get 100% an opportunity to be a specialist, whatever. You call diploma in gynae, that should become a diploma. Instead of diploma, I am med in gynae. So he is a specialist in gynae, but may not be a teacher. If you want to be an academic specialist, a teacher, you do a 3-year course. You can do dual degrees. I can actually do something else other than this. 4 years, I can do a fellowship with MD. I can do an MD, PhD in this. And I can do an MD and DM. Right now it is 6 years. I do MD. Then I wait for some time till my DM, another year is gone, then I go into a DM. So it's a 7-year course. So we can have a combined MD-DM program. And of course, many such opportunities. I have just listed this. I want you to think out of box. If you want to create stereotypes, straight-jacket doctors, that's not what medicine is. It's expanding. So let's imbibe things from others. Let us pollinate these ideas into our people that you can think out of box for new courses, new opportunities for a better outcome. Let's look at the system of exams so that we can look into it. This was 2015 vision, and I think this is likely to happen sometimes in a year or so. If common exit exam, and at the same time you have a national ranking, which should give 50%. Right now it is proposed as 100%, but our proposal was give 50% to this. And don't study anymore. Then you go to your clinical internship, and then you get 50% marks, and then you get ranking for PG. So no more exams like that. And then, well, you have a licentiate exam, which may be called next, so that you are eligible for that. And even if you get 30% marks in this, you are okay. You can appear next month again, next month again, next month again. So you are eligible to practice once you have a minimum number. But if you get good rank, 70%, 80%, well, you are able to get into a postgraduate course. Those who have done MBBS 10 years ago can also apply and get into this system. The last part is medical profession attractive? Generally only doctors' kids are going to get into medicine, but sometimes they don't like it, but still father ko अच्छा लगता है या mother को अच्छा लगता है, कर लेते हैं, but they are not too happy doing it. I want the society through you to look, this is also Mona Lisa, but looking from a different person's eyes. This is Fernando's. The society doesn't respect doctors in India today. They are beaten up. The society doesn't give credit for their 24 hours of work, but they hold you accountable for everything, for legal cases and others. I think we should start a campaign that doctors get that respect. I genuinely feel and request that profession should rise above small things. Profession should unite on these things of, yes, we do ethically, we do well, we are accountable, but give us the respect. And what is the respect? Let Lakshmi not always win over Saraswati. You pass out from TMH and you get 10 times, or you pass out from KM, you get 10 times, but you work there and you don't get either respect or money, and you still work because you had some dedication, but how long and how many generations? I am very clear, Saraswati and Lakshmi must walk together. And this is my proposal. 5 years of MBBS is equal to any IIT or any IAS. But if you are doing an MD, you have done 3 years more of training, you get 3 increments over an IAS. Nobody will agree. Winnie, you will never agree to it. I know that. If you have done a DM or MCH, he gets 6 increments over an IAS. He has done 6 years more of training. Every year of training is 1 increment in government. So I think we should get 6 increments if you join as a super specialist. Do you all agree to this? Yes. Will you work for it? Yes. All right. And if you are an academician, clinician and a researcher, you wear 3 hats, you get extra remuneration. Government is trying to bring a new bill for, I am not at all, so all what I say is conjunctural, my personal opinion, not in any other capacity. What I think is, what should be governed and should not be governed. Entry, exit, standardized. CME, standardized, except CSR. We have the CIPLA chief here. CSR, my feeling is 0.25%. Today, you hold a conference, you need 10,000 people, otherwise your conference is not successful. No oncology conference is successful if 10,000 people are not there. How do you call delegates? Honesty, transparency in that is lacking. Let every pharma give 0.25% of its revenue to CME programs across. So you have a national bank of 10,000 crores. Let every doctor, 700,000, 7 lakh doctors be treated by that. They be educated for 2 CMEs. Let pharma not be treated differently like a villain. Let us be together for CME programs. This is my strong desire that we should have everything ethically done. How to govern is a huge issue and I don't have time on that. But I just want to say, if all of us want to give accessible health care, let the generation after us be given a hope. And the hope is that medical profession and health care will be available to you. Give us the respect and we should do double what we are doing to give that confidence to them, because future belongs to those who give next generation a reason to hope. I salute TMH on their platinum jubilee. I want also to say seeds of hope are being sown. Let's see that they can be groomed, they can be nurtured. I would like TMH to join, lead the reforms so that we have a better India from tomorrow. Thank you.